Morning everybody, welcome back to Leeton. So it's going to be an absolute scorcher today. It's June 17th I think, and it's going to be the hottest day of the year so far. So I'm going to get myself off to Wicks because I need some compost, and a bit of research online last night. £12 for 100 litres for a multi-purpose compost in a bale. So I think I'll go get a couple of those and I'll see you when I get back. Okay everybody, well, I'm back home. It's already really hot. It's only about, I don't know, 8:45 in the morning. The first job today is going to be sorting out these strawberries, because a couple of weeks ago perhaps, the strawberries are putting out all these runners, which is one of the ways the strawberry plant reproduces. It puts a runner out that rests on the soil, and then it grows roots and it turns into another plant. The runner eventually drops off, rots away. So when it started putting runners out a few weeks ago, what I like to do is, because it's in a pot, it isn't in the ground, I'll get a pot, put some compost in it, and then put the runner onto the pot where the plant's going to grow, and then I just snap a twig and use that as a little clamp just to hold it down. And I prefer to use a twig or something rather than a bit of plastic or metal, just better for the environment. I try not to use plastics where I can. And these have now rooted in, they've got some decent roots. So what I can do now is cut the runner off of the parent plant and move that pot away. So I only bought 6 plants probably 2 months ago ish, and I put them in these pots because this year I don't have a bed to make it to turn into a proper strawberry bed, but next year hopefully I will. So what I want to do this year is catch as many plants off of these 6 that I can, and then I've got plenty to plant out next year. And the thing with strawberry plants is they're only any good really for about 3 or 4 years. So if I can produce as many as I can this year, plant them out next year, keep them for 3 years in the bed, and then on the last year that I'm going to keep them, take the runners again for the following year. And the intermediate years are years where the plants will be good and I'm going to keep them for the next year. I wouldn't be doing this. I would be cutting the runners off and putting as much goodness, or letting the plant put as much goodness into the fruit as possible. And from a fruiting point of view, we've had quite a lot of strawberries off these, and they're still producing. Unfortunately, none of them make them to the house because they just get eaten while we're down here. But don't matter, as long as they're getting eaten. And this variety is Royal Sovereign. So it's been quite a good variety for me so far. So what I'm going to do is start cutting these runners off the parent plant. So you can see there's now an independent strawberry plant. There's another one. Another one. So you can see there I've got 3 independent strawberry plants now that have grown off a runner from the parent plant. Now the runner that came from the parent plant I don't need anymore, so I'm going to cut that off as well. But as you can see, the runner came along from the parent plant, rooted, and then it's grown on again. So what I can do is get another pot and clamp that down with a twig, and then that will grow into another plant. So I'm going to do that in a bit, but for now this plant is still putting runners out and I want to catch them all if I can. So I've got 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got another 7 potential strawberry plants off this. Oh, 8. Now that runner there I wouldn't bother with yet, it hasn't formed a big enough plant on the end, same with that one. But that one, that one, that one, and this one are definitely worth trying to get those plants. So that's what we'll do. So I'm going to use the remainder of this compost that I've got before I open the Wicks compost. All I'm going to do is get one of those 5-inch pot, fill it with compost. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 on this plant at the minute that are worth taking. I'm going to let these really small ones grow a bit more until I've got some leaves on. So I've got my block of wood because I'm obviously growing these in a pot. They're higher off the ground. You could let the runners grow longer and then put your pot on the ground, but it really doesn't matter. So we'll start with this one, and all I'm going to do is just try and position it in the middle of the pot, find this little twig, of which I've normally got loads around. There's one, that could be 2. I'm just going to bend it into like a little clip, strawberry in the middle-ish of the pot, and then just clamp the runner down so that the strawberry, where the flower, the leaves are and the plant's going to grow, is touching the soil. That's all there is to it. Obviously give them a watering in as well. Now these, I haven't got a block of wood or anything here, so what works just as well is just an upturned plant pot, a twig, that one's not quite right, there we are. job's a good one. So out of this plant already, sorry, there's 3 plants in there. Yeah, I put 3 plants in here originally when I bought them, and I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then the ones growing off the end of these, so 12, 13, potentially 14 plants from 3 plants. So that's really worth doing if you're trying to get enough strawberry plants to plant out a bed the following year. And all I will do is overwinter these in either the polytunnel one once it's up, or the greenhouse, and perhaps put some straw over them, and they'll go all winter, and then I can plant them out next spring once I've got my strawberry bed set up. So that's those, and it's the same process with these. The only difference is this is now the mother plant, or parent plant. I'm not sure what's PC nowadays. I don't suppose strawberries get offended, but I'm going to do exactly the same process with these. So I'm going to put the parent plant there, find another little twig, and just clamp it down really, like that. Get another one. Alright, so that is the runner from the parent plant. This is the runner from this plant, and you can tell that because there's leaves growing at this end. And also they do try and grow some leaves half sort of along the runner, but the pointed end of the leaf will be pointing away from the parent plant. But this piece I don't need, so I'm going to cut that off. It's just this piece that I want. I'll use the stick from before. So I'm going to carry on and get those done. I've got another plant, strawberry plant to do there, that's probably got 5 or 6 runners on it, plus the ones it's already produced, like these. And there's a couple on that one there as well. So I'll get that done. Okay guys, so that didn't take long at all. And basically from these 3 plants, parent plants in this pot, I now have another 1, 2, 3, 4 plants growing off the runners from the parent plant. And then this one, this is a completely independent strawberry plant now that I took from a runner a couple of weeks ago. So that one's growing now in its own pot, totally independent. And then I've got this one, so I've got 4 plants here that I grew from runners from these 3, but they have now grown their own runners. And as long as these are well rooted and they're growing, they can support the growth of this plant while it gets its own roots in, which doesn't take long. And when it's nice and warm like this, as long as you keep them wet, keep them moist, it's just like taking a cutting really. And a week, 10 days, and they'll have their own roots, and then I can cut the runners off between them, and they're independent plants. Over here, this one didn't quite get its roots in off the parent plant because the stake came loose. It's really important that you keep that runner, that plant, the plant on the end of the runner on the compost. Some people put a little stone on it, but I prefer to just put a little stake in. So that one I've reclipped, but it's growing another one here, another one there, another one there, and I've got another one in the pot over there. So out of the 6 original plants I bought for £6 from B&Q, I think it was, while I was in there one day, I have now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 plus 6, I've got 23 plants. Well, I will have in a couple of weeks. as long as I keep these well watered, they get plenty of sun, they'll grow. So that's the strawberries dealt with. I might go on and do a bit pot on my peppers now, because they really need potting on. So we'll do that next. Okay, so I've got these peppers that I sowed from seed, and it was seed that I'd saved from a previous year. I think they're red peppers, I can't remember, to be honest. And they're getting to the point where they need to be potted on into a bigger pot and put out in full sun somewhere. So I've got these 2 terracotta pots. I'm going to put 1 each in those, and then that'll give me 3 left. So got another pot there, I could put 1 in. Let's see how we get on. The peppers like a lot of nutrition, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to half fill the pot with mixed farmyard manure, and then top the rest up with some compost. First of all, I've got to just cover the holes in the bottom of the pot. I've got an old roof tile here that I'll just break and put over the holes. Go. So farmyard manure. Oh, that's good stuff. Just going to break up the clumps. A little bit more. No, that'll do. Of course, all these pots at the end of the growing season or whatever, they're all going to get tipped onto my beds. So although I'm spending money now on this stuff, it's saving me a bit of money later in the year. So it all works out in the end. So a little bit of compost in that. That's a good one there, look. Nice little pepper plant. Now obviously I haven't got a greenhouse or polytunnel that is of any use really that I can grow them in at the moment, as I've said in a previous video. So outside it is, and they've got 2 choices. Probably just do with a little bit more compost. So we're now into the Wicks compost that I bought today. I've noticed a hole here, so I'm going to open it at the bottom. That's not too bad, that compost, I don't think, but we'll see. And of course, for 12 quid for 100 litres, I don't suppose you can expect too much. Just can't wait to get my own compost bins going. Right, that one we shall put there. I'll put I know what they are, but I'll put that in anyway. Okay, that's the next biggest one, I suppose. Going to take off the 2 seedling leaves, get rid of them. They're not really doing a lot for the plant anymore. Rightio, I'll put that one there. That leaves me 3. Okay, what I'm going to do is put this one, which isn't really doing particularly well. There's something, the leaves have gone all funny, like curled up. I don't know if it's been attacked by something. This one's a bit the same. So what I'm going to do is plant out the last good one in a pot there. So I'll spin the camera around and show you. So I'm going to put the last one in here. We'll take out this lettuce in the middle. Got loads of lettuce all over the place. I've got more coming in the greenhouse, so sacrificing one isn't a massive problem. And it's going to compost, not going to go to waste. The idea is I'll put the pepper in here, and then by the time the peppers getting up to this point, we'll probably have eaten these or pulled them out anyway. There's a weed, like that. That's quite nice. That's wet in there already, so I only watered last night knowing it was going to be so hot today. These 2, I'm just going to leave them in there. They're not pot bound at the moment, so I'll leave them in there. Have a couple of spares just in case some of these don't work out, and if not, I'll just go on compost. So that wraps it up really for today. Oh, one thing, this rhubarb, I found it growing in the front garden when we moved in, and we didn't want it there, so I dug up the crown back in probably April and just shoved it in the ground there, well watered for quite a few weeks. But I've got no idea what variety it is, so if anybody has an idea, then please let me know so I can read up about it. It's growing great, but I'd just like to know a bit more about it really. So that's it for today, folks. That's going to go in the compost. I hope you've liked the video. If you have, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you get updates on future videos, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.